All right, let's say hi to Russ now in Savannah, Georgia, listening on EWTN Sirius Satellite Radio. Hello, Russ in Savannah.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I have a question regarding Romans 8:17, and it says in part that provided we suffer with him in order that we may be glorified with him. How does that relate? How does my individual suffering relate to the good of the church or for the good of the church?
Okay, well, we don't ultimately know exactly how God is going to use our suffering for good. But what we do know is that good can come from suffering. Not only our own suffering, but in fact the greatest good that ever came to the world came through God's suffering, Jesus suffering and dying on the cross. So we know that good can come from suffering and that God uses suffering for good. So if we, as Paul mentions here, our own sufferings, if we combine those with Christ's suffering, as Paul says in another place, if we make up what is lacking, in other words, we contribute to and cooperate with Christ in his suffering through our own suffering, and that can be simply suffering through our concupiscence, the resisting temptation to sin type of suffering. It can also be our physical ailments, suffering through those in a way that's pleasing to God. We can ask that any suffering we experience, that God use that in a positive way, and that he combine that with Jesus' own suffering for the good of however he wants to apply it. How he applies it and what good he makes of it is completely up to God, and he hasn't revealed to us, and it's probably beyond our ability to comprehend in this life exactly how he goes about doing that.
How's that, Russ?
Okay, I think I understand that now. Okay, great.
Okay, great.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the call, Russ. All right, 26.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.